Well, welcome to Facebook Live with WKU Glasgow. My name is John Roberts, and I am the Coordinator of Student Affairs at WKU Glasgow. Thank you for joining us tonight as we talk about some strategies, tips, things you need to know as a student in this, as we are in this new semester. How can you be best successful? I've got two wonderful professionals with us today, and I will have them introduce themselves. Crystal, we'll start with you.
I'm Crystal Walker. I'm one of the academic advisors, and I also do transfer advising. I've been at WKU Glasgow for going on 13 years in advising, and I actually got my bachelor's degree from WKU Glasgow. So,
Excellent.
That's me.
Alumna.
Yes.
My name is Laura Houchins. I am an adjunct English instructor here on Glasgow campus. I have been teaching here for about 15 years now, I believe, teaching part-time. I also help run the START Center, which is our student tutoring and resource team. So for anybody who needs a little extra help with any of their classes, we can help you with that.
Excellent. Well, thank you all again for being here. Just as a side note, Crystal had a birthday yesterday. She is 25.
Right.
So yeah, be sure to chime in. Wish her a happy belated birthday, and we hope it was a really good birthday.
It was.
So tonight, like I said, we're going to be talking about student success, student support services. How can our students be successful in a new semester? While we chat with our guests, we will be accepting questions relevant or irrelevant to the topic, so feel free to chime in and ask any questions that you may have about WKU Glasgow, about our topic, etc. Be sure to engage with us live by commenting, by liking, or by sharing this content. So let's dive into the questions that I have for you, and we're going to start off first with academic advising. So what is, it's one of the most important services for our students on our campus because to an extent, in some regards, it is kind of where the rubber hits the road in regards to that degree planning and making sure students are on track and graduating on time. So with that in mind, when a student is needing to know who their academic advisor is, how to get in touch with them, contact them, how does a student go about getting that information?
A student can go on their TopNet account, and on their schedule which lists where the academic advisor, who their academic advisor is, or they can go call us over here and we can let them know who their academic advisor is. But it should be in on their TopNet in their general student information or on their student summary schedule. It'll show.
Right. And I realize that some students, we were actually kind of talking about this a little bit, maybe are, especially newer students, maybe unfamiliar with their TopNet accounts.
Right.
So there is help that we can provide with that. You can always, you can always talk to any staff, faculty that you may be around. How do I access my TopNet account? You can also, our IT department, you can contact them directly, and they will help out as
Correct.
well as far as getting the login information, the passwords, etc. So no, that's a very great point.
Correct.
Melissa Hastings has joined us.
Hi,
Thank you
Melissa.
for joining us, Melissa from Louisville, I imagine. And Allison Key, another one of our alumni,
Yes,
has
hi.
joined us as well. So thank you both for joining us. So, in your opinion, why is meeting with an academic advisor so important?
I think meeting with us is important because we keep you on track with your degree plan to make sure you're going to graduate on time when you want to. If there's any kind of changes in the degree, we make sure that, we let you know. We just keep you in the loop with things, so I think it's pretty important to see us.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Again,
Yeah.
kind of where the rubber hits the road.
Right.
Can a student actually register without meeting with their advisor?
Each semester there is an academic hold on there.
That's what I
And they
thought.
have to see an advisor. They don't have to sit down and we put them in their classes, but they can get their hold lifted and go home and make their own schedule. But we just give them some of the classes that we think they should take.
Gotcha.
But we have a lot that want to just sit down and help. We make their schedule out for them, but they don't have to do that. But they do need to meet with us at least twice a semester to get that hold lifted.
Yeah.
But they can meet with us any other time.
Mhm.
Anytime they get questions or anything, they can meet with us. So.
Yeah, and that's a great question. Kind of segues to my next question. Do they have to wait until registration to meet with an academic advisor?
No, if they get any questions or feeling any type of way about anything that they're in, we encourage them to come and see us anytime. They can come meet with one of us anytime during the semester.
And speaking of registering for classes, what can students do to be more proactive in that? I would imagine, as in my experience and everyone here's experience, sometimes college students they tend to procrastinate.
Right.
So, to be proactive, what can the student do to be proactive to make the best of those registration and those advising appointments?
They could go online and research more about their degree. They can go to like wku.edu, look at what degree they're going for, and look and see on there. It's something also on TopNet. There's an ICAP on there that will have their whole degree plan planned out for them and tell them every class that they need to take. So they could go on there and kind of look at that and build a schedule or know what they want to take. When they come in to meet with us, it makes the whole meeting smooth. I think I'll put it, it makes it really smooth. So, and I mean, just research and
Right.
on the degree that you want to go into and jobs that you might want to get. So that's what I encourage mine to do. So,
Right,
yeah.
right. Well, and that makes sense because then you come into those meetings kind of with a purpose, with a plan, so that you can contribute. So it's not just an academic advisor saying this is what you should do.
Right.
It's you coming in with some actual points and some
Right.
some thoughts that you can
Exactly.
guide the conversation. Got a good shout out from Allison Key about the START Center. She says, I truly couldn't imagine my college experience without the amazing advisors and START Center. So actually,
Yeah, thanks, Allison.
and the Highlanders, which was our
Yeah.
student ambassador program as well.
Yeah.
So we appreciate those comments. So more than just academic advising, our students have access to a variety of support services and resources at WKU, and I think that's where the START Center comes in for our students. What is the value? I know what the value is of the START Center, but utilizing the START Center for students in a new semester, how is that beneficial?
Well, the START Center here on Glasgow campus is, we employ students who are here, who are WKU Glasgow students. So the probability that they have been in the class that you are in now, that you are having a little bit of difficulty with, it's pretty high. So they have probably either been in the class or had the professor that you're having. So they know exactly what it is that you're facing. And they can help you with anything from starting your homework to going through your homework with you to, reading a paper after you finished it, or if you don't even understand the assignment, you can come in and talk to one of the tutors and they can help you get started, and then you can come back again later. And whether it's a writing assignment or a math assignment, it is so easy to get behind in a math class. If there is one concept that you don't understand, and then the next class the professor goes over a concept that builds on that, you are going to be lost. So the minute that you start feeling yourself slipping, you should stop and see one of the tutors in the START Center and say, hey, I don't really understand what's going on here. Can you explain this concept so I understand what happens when I go to class next time?
Right.
Yeah, tremendously valuable.
Yes. I don't know that I answered your value
No,
question,
you
But
did.
it is.
but yes, that is the value, because if you go halfway through the semester and you are completely lost, you have lost a half a semester, and probably that means you're going to fail the class. And so there's the value money-wise, but the value just education-wise is larger than the money value, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Another one of our, well, he's an alumnus, Andrew Lee has joined us.
Hi, Andrew.
Hi, Andrew. Thanks for joining us tonight. From Western Kentucky, Thad Jones has joined us. So, Thad, thanks for watching and being with us here tonight. And I can, and I'm sure you all can attest to your own personal experiences, but in my personal experience, I'm very confident, and I would put any amount of money on this to say that had I not had a resource like a writing center, I would not have made it through my undergraduate career. It was a very surreal moment for me to realize that I'm a terrible writer, and having that extra resource I'm confident that was the only way that I succeeded was because
Yes.
of that.
Right.
and I'm sure you see that time and time again.
Definitely. And sometimes it's not necessarily, and I'm sure that you're not a terrible writer, John, and most people are
I
not
was.
terrible writers. Most people just need a little bit more confidence to realize that they can do the assignment, because most of the time it's not completely off base when they come in. They just need a little help just staying on the right path.
Right track.
Right. Claire Roberts from Bowling Green, Kentucky has joined us. Thanks, Claire, for being with us tonight. No, that's absolutely right. So it's the extra support to ensure that our students are refining their skills. And you don't have to mention names, but can you speak to a time where you dramatically saw a difference in a student's writing from the first time they came into the Writing Center to maybe graduation, or the last time they came to the Writing Center?
I have had students in my classes who were in my class, and they would come and visit a tutor in the Writing Center. And it was like, over the course of the semester, the confidence that they built and the skills that they built over the course of the semester, from the first paper they turned in to that last paper that they turned in, was unbelievable how much that they had gained over the course of the semester. And, it wasn't just them being in my class, it was the fact that they were getting one-on-one help from somebody who had been there, from a student that could talk their language. Because, I think sometimes, when we get to be adults, that we forget what it's like to be 18 or 19 years old and have all of the stress that they have from their classes and jobs and everything else in the world. And so it helps to talk to somebody who is in the same place that they are.
Absolutely. Well, but not only just those students, those younger students, but some of our older students
Yes.
too, right? That have been out for a while, as far as writing goes, and then academic writing, right? Because academic writing is so much different than just writing a thank you note or a love letter or whatever, right? There's so much, or a tweet or a Facebook post or an
Right.
Instagram post. It's so much more different. And I was reminded of that even as I've gone back to school to be a doctoral student. When I had my first writing assignments, it was like, it's been a while since I've done APA. So yeah, where's that APA manual?
Go back and see.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
right. So even for those older students, having that support, that peer-to-peer support, as you were talking about, student to student, is certainly beneficial. Kelsey Burnett has joined us as well. So Kelsey, thank you for joining us tonight. So both of you all have extensive experience serving students. Do you see a difference in student success for those students that seek services and those who do not seek services?
I do.
Go ahead,
I
Kristen.
feel like, you see a student is more, they're gonna, if you seek the services, they're gonna get that extra push, and that helps them get through. The ones that don't seek it kind of just fall through the cracks, and that's why we encourage them to go
Right.
do this. You get that extra support.
Right.
So, yeah, I see.
Sometimes it seems like if you are willing to ask for help, then staff and faculty are more willing to give help. If you're willing to say, I don't understand, or I don't know what the next step should be, then people go out of their way to make sure that you make it to the next place that you need to be. So
The first step is getting them to ask for
Yes.
that
Yeah,
help.
That's
Yes.
right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
That's right.
And
Well,
we try
and then battling that maybe that timidness, or maybe that maybe a little bit of arrogance, right? That
Right.
I don't need help.
Yes,
right?
pride, yes.
That's it. But
Yeah.
as you were talking about earlier, it's very clear that students can really benefit from these services. And I would say the same thing about academic advising as well. That students really their experience is enhanced because of those interactions.
Right.
And when we look back at our records from the Start Center, we find that very few people come one time. That once they come once and realize the benefit of coming and getting help, they continue to come back. Oh, I have a class I have a paper for history. I'm going to come help that. Oh, my Math 205 I'm having trouble with that. I'm going to once they realize that help is available, they continue to come back. We have very, very few one-timers.
That's interesting. And have you seen a trend with that? Is it just because the service is outstanding and
Of course.
Right.
Heather Garcia from Franklin, Kentucky has joined us tonight. So hi,
Hi,
Heather. Thanks for joining us tonight. Okay, so I've shared my experience about utilizing student services. So take a trip down memory lane and think back to your undergraduate experiences. Did you all either gravitate towards an academic advisor or student services that really helped you to succeed in college. And if you're willing to share that story, that'd be great.
You want me to go?
Go for it.
Okay.
Go for it, Crystal.
Well, mine is who is my boss now. Phyllis Reed was my academic advisor when I was going. Like I said, I got my whole degree here at Glasgow, started out at Liberty Street. And she was also my math teacher, and math is my
Wow.
weakest subject. So I reached out to her for math help, and then I changed my advisor to her. And she kind of guided me through the whole process because I changed my major 3 different times. Thought I was going to be a nurse and all kind of other stuff. But she was there to give me the guidance, to tell me what classes I needed to take, tell me I needed to make up my mind on what I wanted to do. And she got me through, so. And it's just good to, she's my boss now, and it's just
Yeah,
kind
that's
of,
the neat story.
it's a really good relationship.
And back at Liberty Street. Too,
At Liberty
right?
Street,
yeah.
right.
We just, for viewers, I know we just celebrated our 30th anniversary here at the campus. So when we're talking about Liberty Street, I'm not trying to put age on you
I know,
in
I know.
years.
I went
but-
to Liberty Street.
Did
too.
you?
Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
I
So
did.
that was a little bit down the road before we
Yes.
were in our current location.
Yes.
Kelsey Geiler, I
Hi,
assume
Kelsey.
from Ohio, is tuning in with us, as well as Joshua Blankenship from Scottsville. So thank you both for joining us
Hey.
tonight. Want to share with us your experience?
I don't know that I actually utilize student services like a tutoring service, but I
Sure.
do know
'Cause you're
how
a phenomenal
important.
writer, right?
Well, that wasn't what I was going to say, but I utilize like my professor's office hours, which is very similar. I mean, there were several professors who probably got tired of me knocking on the door saying, I don't understand how to do this problem. Would you please show me again? But I utilized office hours a lot more than I
Yeah.
did, say, student services.
Well, and that's another resource, right?
Yes.
That we don't talk a lot about is the faculty component, and I think especially for this campus, which is a smaller
Yes.
campus, students are able to get to know their faculty one-on-one and work very closely with them. Go into office hours, feel comfortable asking those questions. So it's another support. It's another student support that is really important.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely. So staying connected, let's talk about that. So these are all valuable resources, all things we're talking about. So how could a student go about learning how to take advantage of these resources?
Asking the first, getting that courage to just ask that first question,
Yeah.
or
Uh-huh.
getting on our website,
Mhm.
searching. I think that's most of the
Yeah.
kids now are technology, everything. Or sending that email if they don't have the courage just to come up to the front desk or to the start center. I get a lot of emails. I noticed they've been communicating through a lot of emails. Facebook. I get a lot of Facebook questions too. So.
Yeah, that's a key. Social media, which I think we do a good job about putting that
Yes.
out there for our campus. So, so for any student that's not following us on social media, we'll talk about that here at the end of the broadcast because, of course, we want you to follow and interact with us on social media. But email, right? And I know people, don't want to email or it's not really a habit for them, but, email is often a good way to reach out as well. And then the Start Center here, not only have you all done a good job about connecting with students in a variety of ways, but you also do events on campus.
We do, yes.
That also helps to get the word out as well. So I think there are plenty of opportunities for students to get that information and to get that help. Plus, it also helps too, being on this campus and really any WKU campus in general. There's enough people, whether we're talking about our Bowling Green campus or Glasgow campus or E-Town Fort Knox campus or Owensboro campus or even online, there's enough people to reach out to where our students should be able to get that information. Peggy Bates says we're an awesome group. So
Hey,
thank you,
Peggy.
Peggy.
Thank you.
We appreciate your comment. You are an awesome individual, and
Yes.
that is
Another student service.
Another
yes, that's
student
right. That's
service,
another
correct.
area that we've not talked about yet, but we have a phenomenal cafe on our campus
Yes.
ran by Peggy Bates and her team that fuels our students with delicious food and also provides a good welcoming space. So we're really appreciative of the work that she does that really helps our students. So going back to staying connected,
Before you move on to staying connected, can I talk about an event that's coming up?
Yeah, please.
Okay. The Start Center, this will be the first event that we have hosted this semester. So be watching for on social media and your email. We will be hosting an event on March the 6th. The details are still being worked out. But the big deal about this event is that we are going to be giving away 6 $500 book scholarships. So a partnership between the Glasgow Campus Start Center and the SGA has made these scholarships available. So make sure to be paying attention and finding out how that you can get a hold of one of these $500 book scholarships.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad that you brought that up, right? Because when we talk about student support, obviously the financial piece,
Yes.
It's very important. So we're very fortunate to have groups like student government who are willing to give back to students and work for students and be able to contribute scholarships
Right.
to students to help them even cover a small gap,
Yes.
which for a lot of students, maybe that's all they need. So
Right.
thank you for bringing that up. Quickly, if a student needed help and they didn't know where to turn, what is your all's best advice for that student?
I would say the first thing that they should do is whichever instructor that they like the best, go there first. And that professor or instructor could push them, where that they thought that they needed the most help. Because I firmly believe that the faculty that we have on Glasgow campus is very caring, and they will make sure that the student gets taken care of.
Or they can always stop at the front desk.
yes.
Sandy and Tracy know everything,
Yes.
or where to
Yes.
send them. They could call, or they could stop up at the front desk, and we could send them if they need to talk to the faculty member, didn't know where to find them at. We could send them up there or get them set up with one of them too. So
Yeah, good points. So now that we're in a new semester, let's talk about setting reasonable goals real quick. So
Okay.
that is a big part of student success is that we all hope that our students have goals in mind. So what kind of goals should students set for themselves for a new academic semester?
I'll let you go first this time.
Okay.
Show up to class, that's a good one.
Show up to class. Show up to class is very important. That wasn't what I was going to say, but that is very
Yes.
important. Especially if you have classes that meet just once a week. If you miss one class, you have missed a lot. I mean, if you miss that's 2.5 hours of class. That's a whole week. That's 2 days in a normal class. So if you miss class, it is of utmost importance that you contact your instructor and see what you missed and see how that you can be prepared before you go the next time. But I stress in all of my classes, I kind of get on a soapbox about attendance because to me it makes no sense to pay for a class if you're not going to go and get your money's worth and do your best. That just makes no sense to me. So yes, going to class, that would be the first thing. My second suggestion would be time management, to make sure that you keep up with what is due when and think about how long it's going to take you to do each one of those assignments and write it all down. Instead of just putting it in your phone, write it all down because you'll remember it better if you write it down.
I agree with that. And then maybe it could be just to ask questions or to go to the Start Center. That one time you didn't go the last semester, make it a point for you to show up or show up for an extra appointment with advising just to make sure there's nothing else. Just take an extra step
Yes.
to move on.
Yeah,
I think would be good. Yeah.
And another thing that I think is somewhat important too, and I'm also speaking for myself, but I also know this is applicable to a lot of students, is having that support system in a new semester. So that's another way to ensure success is that you've got peers, friends, family, somebody that's going to help to push you and to move on. Because sometimes life is busy and sometimes it can get a little rough as far as completing assignments, papers, you're going to hit challenges. So it's always helpful to have that support group, whoever that is for you, that you can lean on and support.
That's true.
So what is your advice for, so you've set some goals for yourself, what kind of advice do you have for students for staying on track to meet those goals?
Keep coming to class. keep showing up.
Right.
Well, in my point about the support system, I think that typically helps with the staying on
Yes.
track. Then you've got a
Yes.
little bit of accountability, people to if you are veering off track, or you're not going to class, or you're not doing the best that you can, you've got some people there to cheer you on and to get you back on track with that.
Correct.
So from your experiences, how can student services help students achieve the goals that they've set for themselves? So they've set the goals, they're finding some ways to stay on track. How can those support services, how can those faculty serve as a supplement to support?
Well, I mean, we've talked about the START Center quite a bit, but the START Center can definitely help people, be successful in their classes. So whatever class it is that you're having trouble with, we can find a tutor who can help you with that, who has taken that class. So, it doesn't matter what your class issue is or what class it is that you're having trouble with, stop and see us and we'll find somebody who can help you.
And as far as advising, I think if you stop up there and come and talk to one of us, because we know life happens and
Yes.
it happens to all of us. And say if you can't come to class a week or two, don't just not come at all. Come and talk to us and we can help you out and try to get you back on the right track no matter what's going on. Just don't not come.
Right.
Show up, let us know, and we find every way possible to try to help you out.
Communicate. Either communicate
Communication.
with your advisors,
That's
your
great.
professors, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Whatever your life happens event is,
Yes.
make sure you communicate.
Yeah, that's a good
Yes.
point. Simply just be honest, right?
Yes.
This is what's going on. These are my challenges. Here's how such and such can help. No, I fully agree. I think that communication,
It is
that's a
the key.
big one. It's very important. Joe Wilder has joined us tonight, so
Joe.
thank you, Joe, for joining us and being with us on Facebook Live.
We have had a really good showing from Start Center
Yes.
tutors
I know,
tonight.
It is.
I
Start Center
know,
is
I
in
know.
there.
That's right. They're showing their love.
They are.
More Houchins
They
in
are.
Star Center. So one more question. So for those students that don't know their goals, or they don't know how to set goals, what is your advice for making that happen? Because some students just don't know. What kind of advice can you give those kind of students?
Crystal.
Just say, if they don't know say if you got a student that has struggled I'm just going back, if you had a bad semester the first semester and you come in, set a goal for yourself to study an extra 30 minutes more than what you give yourself. Set a small goal of doing better on a test than, you might made a 77 on one, your next test try to get a B,
Right.
little things like that I think would help out a whole lot.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And I think that it helps to always remember the bigger picture. Why it's not just, Math 116 or it's not just English 100 that you should be focusing on. Why are you here?
Exactly.
What is the end goal for you? A lot of the public schools talk about, the 7 habits begin with the end in mind. So it's not just the class you're in right now. What end are you trying to reach? And that will help you stay focused and maybe meet your goals.
Who you're doing it for. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
who
have
are
a
you-
lot that are doing
that's
it
right.
For their families.
for their families.
Yes.
So it's important.
That's excellent. Yeah, all very great points. Co Campbell has joined us tonight. So, Co, thank you for being with us tonight on Facebook Live. We are running out of time here, so we're going to. Any final thoughts before we conclude for our students starting a new semester, and any last parting advice?
Just don't give up. We're
Don't
here
give-
to help.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just take that first step and ask. And if you got to ask on Facebook, if you got to ask through email, if you have to, whichever way, if you got to send a friend to ask for you, just don't not ask.
Right.
I know that's not right for me sitting with the English professor, but just do not ask. Just talk to
Absolutely.
us.
Because
Yeah.
we're still early enough in the semester that if you've gotten behind, you can still catch up. So now is the time to stay
do
on
that.
top. Yes.
Right.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and asking never hurts anybody.
No.
Right? So that's the best, I think, way to go about any challenges that anyone would meet. Eric Butler thank you for being with us tonight. We appreciate your comment here. She says WKU Glasgow is improving every year. I couldn't agree more.
Wow.
And she is a 2011 alumna, and she had Mrs. Laura Houchins for English 100.
Wow.
And her advice is do it for yourself.
Right.
Which I totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta, there's all kinds of other people that you can do it for, but ultimately you gotta also be, you gotta do it for yourself.
That's right.
That's a highly important person that you need to be achieving your goals for. So, yeah, thank you so much for those comments, Erica. So as we close, our Facebook Live session will be recorded and saved on WKU Glasgow's Facebook page. So if you find any of this information pertinent, relevant to anybody that you know, please feel free to reshare that, have them rewatch it. If you have any questions, this comment section will be there after we're done, so feel free to ask any questions that we didn't get to. Additionally, if there's anything that you would like for us to cover in the future, any topics, please feel free to drop those in the comment section below. We'll be happy to take those into consideration and hopefully get to some of those topics. If you haven't already, please connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, or visit us at wku.edu/Glasgow. The website is over there below Crystal. And if you've never visited campus before, we encourage you to do so. You may schedule an appointment to come visit us at wku.edu/Glasgow. Thank you, everyone, for being with us tonight. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Crystal, for being here. And until next time, have a good night.